Yes, Geordies, welcome back to another episode. And Osula and Tino Livramento are lighting up the Euro Under-21s. Another 2 goals from Osula. Tino Livramento with another impressive performance. So we're going to be breaking them all down. We're going to be talking about Osula, going to be talking about Tino Livramento, what do I expect next season, what Newcastle should do next season, and then a little treat for you all. We're going to be breaking down Osula's 2 goals against the Netherlands. But I want to start by talking about Tino Livramento because this guy is just getting better and better as the games come. Another impressive performance. He ended the game with 2 key passes, 1 out of 3 successful dribbles, 2 out of 2 long balls completed, and dribbled past 0 times, which is very impressive. He played at left back again, which is not his natural position. He should have had another assist. James McAtee had his shooting boots on, who missed from 2 yards out when Tino Livramento cut it back. So another strong and impressive performance from Tino, and I think he's going to have a big season next season. A very big season. We've got Champions League football that I think he'll just thrive in. I think he's the type of player that reminds me that he just takes everything into his stride, and that's exactly what we're seeing with Tino Livramento. Let's be honest, watching his performances for England, he looks too comfortable at under-21s level. He's far too good for it. He should be playing senior football, but I'm happy he's at this tournament because he's getting consistent minutes, which is exactly what you need at this age. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't spectacular yesterday, but he's becoming super consistent. He was England's second best player behind Charlie Cresswell, who was brilliant yesterday against Slovenia, but he got man of the match in the opening game of the tournament, and he's been terrific. He's got wonderful attributes that you want in a fullback. He impacts the game offensively just as much defensively. He's quick, he's got a good speed of thought, he can dribble, he can pass, he can shoot, he can create, he can defend well. So all the elements you want in a fullback. So it's no surprise to see Man City after him, but we want to keep Tino Livramento. He's got a bright future, not only for Newcastle United, but for England as well. He's going to be a future England fullback, whether that be a right back, left back, I don't care. He needs to be in that squad because he's an absolute terrific footballer. Now I want to talk about Osula because I think with this guy, he needs to be playing minutes. What really worries me about going into next season is he going to get the minutes he needs at this age just to develop? I don't want him sitting on the bench consistently. And if it was up to me, he would be ahead of Callum Wilson in the pecking order. We'll go Alexander Isak, Osula, and then Callum Wilson if we need to bring him on. But throughout this tournament, he's played 91 minutes. He scored 3 goals, provided 1 assist. He changed the game against Ukraine when he come in, set up the equaliser, and then scored the match winner. And then yesterday, he scored a brace to inspire a comeback victory against the Netherlands. Now, Conrad Harder is tipped to be the next big thing in Danish football. His Sporting have already bought him to replace Victor Gyökeres once he leaves. Now, Osula started ahead of him yesterday, deservingly started ahead of him, and it looks like he's going to keep his place as well because scoring a brace, you can't drop Osula. He's fired Denmark into the knockout rounds. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, Antonio, stop getting ahead of yourself. It's only under-21s football. Premier League is going to be different. Probably. And you are probably right, but the defenders he come up against yesterday have a vast amount of experience. Come up against 2 experienced defenders for the Netherlands yesterday. Jarell Hato, who was wanted by everyone, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Barca, you name it, they're all looking at him. He's 19, born in 2006. He plays for Ajax, but he's had over 111 senior appearances already, and he's played European football. And then you look at Ryan Flamingo, who plays for PSV, 22 years old, so he's a bit older than Jarell Hato. He's played 85 times in senior football, and he's already played in Champions League. So that goes to show you he was coming up some very young, but more experienced defenders. He's clever movement, good anticipation, composed finishing, caused a lot of problems. There's one other defender I didn't mention, Ian Matson of Aston Villa, played in the Champions League final. He's playing this under-21s tournament. So when it comes to experience levels, Osula is absolutely a baby compared to these. But yet he scored a brace against them, and it was very, very good. 2 well-taken goals as well. So Osula needs and deserves his chance next season. Now, what really, really worries me next season is I think Osula's at the point now where he needs football. Football is the only way he's going to grow. If he's sitting on the bench and not getting game time, he's going to find it hard to develop and really find that experience. So I'm going to say this, and it's a big, big if, because I do not want Osula to leave Newcastle United next season. And what I'm talking about by when I say leaving is a loan, because I think he would be a suitable but good backup to Alexander Isak, even if we buy João Pedro, because João Pedro can play just in behind, he can play off the left. Then you've got Osula to replace Isak when Isak needs rotated. Now, I trust Osula more than Callum Wilson. We've seen it every time he's been given an opportunity. He had a great game against Birmingham. Can you remember that goal against Morecambe? And you might say it's only Morecambe, but the goal was absolutely outstanding, where he just rolled it over on his right foot, cut it onto his left foot, and then pinged it in the top corner. And then he also scored against Ipswich, which was a header. So he showed that he can score a variety of goals. Now he just needs the opportunity and the platform to deliver. Now, will there be hiccups and mistakes along the way? Absolutely. But I've got more confidence in Osula than I do Callum Wilson. I don't know about you guys, but I'm worried about next season because I feel like he's at the point where, right, imagine it, he's got like shackles on him, right? And he's just a young baby and he's trying to like move and wriggle and find his way in football, but the shackles are eventually just breaking off and he's broken 2 shackles and he's only got 3 left and he's ready to explode. That's how I feel like with Osula. He's at that point. He's 21 years old. He's got to be playing consistent minutes. So if, and it's a big if, a very, 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 very big if, Eddie Howe is not willing to give him significant minutes next season, I think he should go out on loan because he's a player at the point where he needs to be playing consistently. And I think he's better going out on loan than just sitting on the bench. Does that make sense? I've got to be honest, I would much prefer to keep him at St. James's Park. Now, I want to have a little bit of fun and break down some of these goals because I've got some screenshots to look at these goals. And what I really like about this is you can see he's right in front of the defender here. So the defender is in a perfect position because you can see the ball and you can see the man. That's exactly where the defender wants to be, and that's called being goal side. So he's goal side of Osula. But if you watch Osula's movement here, it is absolutely exceptional because the best strikers get on the blind side of defenders. Now, there's 2 things that kill in football. It's pace and movement. Osula's got the pace, and now he's starting to get the movement because what he does here brilliantly gets in between the 2 centre-backs, goes on the blind side of one defender, and once you're on the blind side, it's incredibly difficult for the defender to mark you or recognize where you are because his full focus now is the ball. So he's got no idea where Osula is. So on a good delivery, Osula should get there first because he's found space. He attacks the space and he anticipates where the ball's going to go. And that's why you find him in this position. Now, I've got no idea what Ryan Flamingo is doing here because a player with his experience should not be looking to catch him offside here. As you can see, the defender there, he steps away from the play. And that gives the freedom and the room for Osula to be by himself, unmarked, and he gets a free header into goal. Brilliant from William Osula. It was still outstanding to exploit the mistake from Ryan Flamingo. Now, I just thought it was a brilliant composed finish because he held his run, and then he finds a space, gets into that space, and he anticipates where the ball's coming from. So it was a brilliant, well-timed goal from Osula because a lot of young footballers are told to get in front of the man. Now, I think that is correct when the defender's in between the 2 goalposts. So if the centre-back had been in between the 2 full-backs, Osula would have got in front of his man. But because the centre-back was in line with the post, he gets on the blind side. So he's got that room to manoeuvre and improvise a finish, which is absolutely brilliant. Now, what I really, really enjoy about this goal is his movement, his discipline, his positioning, and his awareness. Because a lot of young players would come towards the ball, would come and try and receive the ball. Not Osula. He recognises where the space is, so he hangs his run. He holds his run very tightly. He's in between the centre-back and the full-back, which is perfect here because once again, he's on that blind side of the defender. So once you get on that blind side, the defender's got no idea what you're going to do. And as you can see, he's just taking his time getting a goal and he just stands still. So he doesn't get caught offside and he just hovers and he really slows down his movement just to set himself. And the touch is brilliant, opens the body up with the left foot, nice stroke into his stride, and then once he gets the ball in his stride, he's got the goal to aim at, and he just opens his body up, finds the bottom corner, and it's a lovely, well-taken, composed finish from William Osula. Now, what I really like about that is when I watch William Osula, sometimes he lacks that composure, but he didn't there. So that just goes to show me he's becoming more confident in his actions. He's setting himself better and he's being more composed in and around the penalty box. Would he have been that composed in the Premier League? Probably not. He might have snatched at it. And because he's at under 21 level, he gets a lot more space, time. But you've got to remember, he's playing against some very experienced defenders that are more experienced than he is. So it's a wonderful, well-taken 2 goals. And it really excites me for next season. And this is why I think he should be ahead of Callum Wilson in the pecking order because he's a threat in transitions. He's very, very powerful with his running stride. He's good at creating separations. He's starting to understand to get on the blind side of defenders, so his game's improvement inside the box. He's actually shown that he can impact games off the bench, but also starting the bench for Newcastle United and Denmark under 21s. Again, I need to highlight, this is not me saying he's going to score 20 goals next season. That's not me saying that. I'm just saying give the lad a chance because he deserves a chance, and he's certainly improving himself at under 21s football. Now, a lot of players get bored from good performances in this tournament. He's putting out good performances, so he deserves a chance next season. And if Eddie Howe is only going to give him 100 minutes throughout the season, I'd prefer to see him go out on loan because I would prefer him to get game time than no game time. But if you give me a choice, I'd prefer that game time to beat Newcastle United. Does that make sense? But I want to hear your thoughts. Are you excited for William Osula? Personally, I think I've never wanted a guy to succeed in Newcastle United so much. I don't know why. I just think because he's got all the tools, all the attributes that scouts look for in footballers. He's certainly got it. Let me know your thoughts in the below. But if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, away the lads.